Hi, it's me. Recording a video of a game which is intended to be the beginning of a full playthrough of a game. Now, for why I'm doing this on a channel that's been laying dormant for the better part of a decade. Um, well, the reason is actually quite simple. There is no playthrough of this game on YouTube yet. Which I know because I've been looking for one. And while there are some attempted playthroughs that have been started but never concluded, there isn't actually a full one. So I thought, maybe I should be the change I want to see in the world and record one. So I will try my best to see this through to the end. This is an RPG Maker game, which is precisely the reason why there is no full playthrough of this. It's really dang obscure. It's an indie RPG Maker game made by a single guy that didn't, just happen to be a breakout hit. And so few people are aware of it. Even less people have finished it. I'm not gonna make any promises that I will. But I'll give it a try. I'm not usually very good at this sort of game. So we start a new game, and there is no character creation, so to speak. But we will have to choose certain starting properties. Lighting quality. Boy, will my PC be able to handle the lighting of RPG Maker? Let's hope for the best. So the protagonist, her default name is Violet. I see no reason to change that. Now choose two elements. This will actually lay the groundwork for our character build. So we got little icons for the elements we can choose from. They are not quite self-explanatory, but if we press the space key on them, we are told what they are and what the properties are. Those properties are not so much important as the selection of spells you'll get access to when you choose them. So, and as you can tell, aside from the obvious ones like fire, ice, thunder, there are some more exotic elements to choose from. Yeah, like example, thread, carbon, psychic. Well, I suppose psychic is not that out of the ordinary, considering it's in Pokemon. Darkness. Yeah, no, that one not really either. Philistine. The most famous of elements. Holy. So in case you're wondering, I am looking for a specific one. Metal is not it. Gravity is one of them. What could possibly go wrong? And I think for the other one, spoiler, you get to choose two. Also looking for a specific one, which is it? Here we go, radiation. That's what I'm talking about. This is permanent, of course. Choose difficulty. Say, why don't we go with Hard, no. No. I think normal would be smarter. I can't really judge whether this is a particularly difficult game, but for me as someone who doesn't really play turn-based RPGs regularly, I imagine I'll struggle with it plenty. This is permanent, of course it is. Prologue and Chapter 1. Well, of course we want to experience that. We want to experience the entire game. "42 years ago. "42 years ago, there was a black screen. Not anymore. Where the hell is that boy? It's almost midnight. Perhaps I should call the police. No, he's just lost track of time. Kids. Just lost track of time. Yeah, I don't think that the police will particularly care if a kid is somewhat late to come home in the evening. Like if he was missing for days, obviously. But not for staying out long. It might hear you. Also, this perspective is something you can do in RPG Maker. It's actually quite fascinating what you can do in RPG Maker. If you take advantage of, you know, unofficial add-ons and whatnot. We come here all the time. The well is new. It just showed up tonight. So, a suddenly appearing well that's flashing. I'm sure there is nothing ominous about that. So we get someone named Simon getting pushed down a well by two people named Mike and Murray, a well that wasn't there the other day. What has happened? Guys? Well, fortunately there is a completely furnished room at the bottom of that well. It has a bed, although we can't lie in it. History of the Beach, Volume 1. First constructed as a gateway to heaven, the city known as the Beach was originally an in-processing area, filled with legal analysts, judges, and lawyers, overseen by young angels. After many decades and many immigrants, it naturally transformed into a city. But not yet the city as we know it today. We're getting a bit of lore dumped onto us. That doesn't mean very much to us yet. Who is there? Empty. Well, no more lore for us. Something about this lamp feels strange. I can't speak for that. It looks fairly regular. Empty. The bathroom. Yeah, there is some water left over. Was this recently used? No way to tell. It does appear to be quite dark outside. Yeah, no, I get it. No, I don't think anyone followed us down there. I mean, there are worse places to be stuck, though. I guess once the food runs out, you're not going to be doing too well. Now, it does seem to have flowing water. That's something. We can walk out into the darkness, though the room we've just been in is just a part of the void. Maybe if we walk long enough in one direction, we will arrive somewhere. There you go. What the hell is this? It's called a pillar. They uphold things. What are they supposed to? Well, I'd more describe it as a throne. I don't know, but I feel like one might be useful. Back to my room. That is assuming that I remember the way. Don't let them find you. Well, better not argue with a disembodied voice. I believe I came vaguely from this direction. Right! And then I think from there... Oh, there I am, back in my room. I'm sure we'll be perfectly safe in here. Demons, evil spirits, monsters. There are a lot of possible answers to that question, and I don't think any of them will make you very happy. Yeah, the lust is one of them. Yeah, who is she? They're gone now. You're safe. What are you? Someone who saved my life. Accurate, I guess. Well, it's a simple question, isn't it? Sick like, have a fever. No, ma'am, good for him. What about now? She says, coming closer to him. No, seems like no matter how close we are, we don't seem to be experiencing any of that. Though it sounds like we are supposed to. Why is it not happening to him? Is it the age? Is the room too dark? She is standing next to a lamp. Well, they didn't follow you down the well. Your friends? Mike and Murray. If that's what they do to you, I don't think they're very good friends. He doesn't. Well, isn't that the question of the day? I think there are easier ways to impress a woman. And I think if there aren't, she's probably not worth it. How much do you know about the afterlife? Yeah, that one. It would explain a few things. Don't know, it doesn't appear to be. Yet. That he is. What is normal in the place where we are right now? She seems to be as confused by him than he is by her. Also, it might be out of the ordinary that we are still alive, or at least conscious. Something very special. Lady, are you one of those monsters outside? No, child. I am not one of those monsters outside. I am worse. And that's our intro. We are not gonna be playing the young man we just met for the rest of the game. Character sprites Steven Elder. I think they were pre-made sprites for RPG Maker. Game testing Sebastian Westerlund. And a few more people. Can't forget about those. $1227 AD. Sister, I am writing to you from the edge of the world. In my absence, the estate will be under your care. Do not burn the library down like you did last time. With respect and love, Marcus. $1228. In a town named Catus. The ship seems to be well, have arrived or seems to be departing again. So what brings me to the edge of the world? Well, we wish to speak to Lord Simon, which, of course, is a name we just heard. Though, of course, we also know nothing about that person being a lord. Okay, he doesn't seem to be available. Why would that be the case? Oh, we can't reach the northern town. The Wooden Ocean happened. But we do have a Master Mason working on it now. He'll be done within... Well, we don't seem to be interested in waiting for him to be done. The forest, but... Thank you and have a nice night. Oh, you don't. Why is that? That does sound like a very superstitious thing to do. Now there is definitely some logic to that. I didn't know, but thank you for telling me. Okay. Well, have a good day then. So Violet is who we are actually playing. We gave her a name, although we declined to change it. And we gave her her starting character stats, which may or may not carry us through the game. Again, like I said, I'm not good at this sort of game. I don't regularly play Japanese-style RPGs. I suppose I was just not the kind of person to actually grow up on them. Like, you meet people and they'll tell you, you know, Final Fantasy VII was a classic of my childhood. Now, I grew up with Nintendo consoles. By which I mean Nintendo consoles past the SNES, which of course still had stuff like Final Fantasy and whatnot. So, you talk to me about JRPGs and I'm like, I've played Paper Mario. I've played some Pokemon, although I never enjoyed it very much. But I don't know very much about your Final Fantasies and your Chrono Triggers and your Xenogears. Getting sidetracked. There was a save point there. I think you've seen it. And actually taking a track a bit to the side, there is a staircase going down here, as well as a purple crystal. We interact with them, which seems to turn on a light in them. What would happen then? Yes. We get teleported to an alternate plane of reality, of course. It is irregular. I think you can say so. More specifically, if it isn't self-explanatory, this is the fast travel hub. We even get a fancy, like, third-person view of it. Well, third-person view is possibly the wrong word, it's just less isometric. This game is an open world game, and considering it's made in RPG Maker, it's a fairly vast one. Like, when you think of RPG Maker games, you might very well think of games that are, you know, basically sort of visual novel, adventure game style affairs, very linear. more focused on writing a narrative than on gameplay. But no, this is a proper sized, like SNES style JRPG. Actually one that's a lot more open-ended and a lot more rich in side contents than most of those were. Well, let's go back to where we came in. There is a little chest there. Found 28 units of currency. Now, before we go down those stairs, we might wanna save again, just so we don't have to go through all of we just saw again. Like the place this takes you to is not the actual way forward. But it is a little underground area. That door locked. Down this corridor there is another corridor. With another locked door. So that leaves one place to go, doesn't it? The hidden hall.